How long do breast implants last? Someone was on the phone to Bex. They haven't consulted with me yet. They're planning to book in. Is this all right? This is no one I know. But asking about breast implants and how long do they last? Well, back in the day, you would have just had a very simple answer. They would have said 10 years. And back in the day, I think plastic surgeons needed to keep the sort of doors for repeat patients coming more often. I mean, that's very cynical. Maybe the state of knowledge was genuinely that 10 years is how long they last and they need to be replaced. But I'm aware from quite early on in my career that there were some patients coming through telling me, oh yeah, I had implants a while ago and then 10 years came, so I just had them replaced because my surgeon told me they needed replacing at 10 years. That is kind of not what we do now. I think that's fair to say. We don't say just routinely, problem or no problem, have them changed at 10 years. We do not. Because having the surgery can cause its own problems. Having revision surgery to breast implants can cause breast implant problems. So if there isn't a problem, don't go looking for one. Don't go trying to fix a problem that doesn't exist. And it's kind of tragic because I've seen a few patients along the way who have told me, I wish I kept my first implants. They were fantastic. They've never been quite right since then. So actually, if your first are great and you love them, leave them alone. And don't do anything to them unless they need altering, unless something needs to happen. And I've met patients who have had implants in for 20 years, in some cases 25. I've never met one who's had the same set for 30 years. I'm sure there are people out there who have. And kind of they're okay. So if there is no problem, there's no problem to fix. However, on the flip side of that is, if you embark upon having breast implants, you've got to presume you're going to need to have something done. The average time, I'm reliably told, to having some kind of revision breast surgery after breast implants is 12 years. That's an average, it's a statistic. In your case, it may be 1 year or 30. It could be 8, it could be 14 or whatever, but there's an average. So you've got to expect you're going to have something done. And hey, if you're one of the lucky ones who doesn't, then amazing. So they don't last forever. Things that can happen, the implant could rupture, it could change position, it could rotate, your body could wall it off in a capsule, your body will wall it off in a capsule, and that capsule could shrink and contract, which may mean you have something done. Now, what's tricky for decision making and us surgically is that if you do go and have something done, some breast surgery, when you've got breast implants in, but it's not really breast implant replacement per se, you haven't changed your mind about the size, they're not ruptured, they're okay. But it's been 8 years and you need a bit of an uplift, say. We don't need to necessarily interfere with the breast implant, but it's been 8 years and we know that they don't last forever. So under those circumstances, I may say, look, rather than not change the implant now and maybe need to come back in 3 or 4 or 5 years and do it earlier than, why don't we take this opportunity while you're asleep just to give you fresh breast implants, because we know they're not permanent things. And that's a sort of, we can talk about the ins and outs of that and decide which one's better for you. So yeah, they don't last forever, but if there's no problem to fix, don't go looking for one. That's the summary. How's that?